see if this works this time. Assuming that it does. Show you where we're at. Basically, I did the first mission that gets you to the tower. Did the little running around missions in the tower. Go see the gunsmith and the holiday that has your ship. I gave myself a Dead Orbit faction badge because I'm going to be doing Crucible all the way to 40, so it may as well have some reputation gain from that. It costs 2,500 glimmer, so if you're doing this with a brand new character, obviously you're not going to have 2,500 glimmer to spend on that, and
City looks peaceful down there.
It's going to be a while before you're going to have some if you're doing nothing but PvP. Now, yes, that's going to be something that you're going to want to know right from the start, is you're not going to make very much glimmer doing this. You're going to do your 6 bounties per day. Obviously you have a lot less game time to get to 40 if you do all your 6 bounties a day and don't push too much harder than that. But in the interests of making this in as few sessions as possible, I'm going to be pushing. So if you're going to push beyond doing your bounties every day, then your other help, I guess, trick, tip, whatever you want to call it, is going to be, now this is another thing that if you don't have another character and you don't have any going on, you're probably not going to be able to get these, but Crucible reputation boosters. Just the more often you can level up any of your factions, whether it's like I got the Dead Orbit reputation gain, so now every time I level up with Crucible, I'll get some towards the Dead Orbit, and each time that you level one of those up, you get, don't quote me, but 500 glimmer-ish, which doesn't sound like very much if you've been a PvEer, but as a PvPer, 500 glimmer sometimes is what it takes to upgrade all your weapons and gear. You're not going to have very good stuff unless you're feeding yourself something from another character on your account. But if you're doing this as a brand new leveling up, that's about what I also what is it that? There's a word for that. Declined and got rid of any quests that belong in the PvE sector. So you might have a couple other quests on here. I wouldn't worry about it. Early days is the first one that you're going to go back to the tower after you hit level 4. It's a green armor that you won't be able to use till level 8 anyway, so you're not in a big rush to get that done. The first real rush you have is to get these 3, whatever class you picked. The grenade, your jump, and your super opened up. Once you have that, then we're going to do the Crucible quest line for your subclass. That's going to be a large part of the boredom killer of doing pure Crucible. And we sort of got lucky because of the Mayhem Rumble this week. We'll be able to do quite a bit of that once we're trying to get grenade kills and super kills and such. So for now, let's start with something relatively easy. We'll play some Control. Get get a hang on some of the maps and what guns we have. I picked the pulse rifle. They're all pretty good, actually, whichever you're comfortable with as far as weapon type. If you haven't played anything, I would suggest maybe scout rifle or hand cannon. Other than that, if you're used to how a Destiny's guns go, you know what you want. The only other thing I did, I spent 1500 glimmer on this sidearm, which at level 7 I'll be able to use. It seems very unlikely to get a sidearm dropped for you before about level 28 or maybe even 30. So it's a lifesaver having a sidearm. This Hawkwood sidearm that I got, I bought it from a Titan when I leveled him up, so I have a little bit of insider information to it, but the boost to top speed is not great. I had stability on the last one that I got, so that was a little better. Saved my life a few times. Heavy weapon, you're not going to have to worry about it, I guess, because you'll get, we'll see what we get. That's a lot of this little challenge that I'm doing, is using what you get to the best that you can, because you're not going to have a lot of replacements for things. You'll get about what you need. So we have to get assists, which I always have a hard time with because I go after one person and try and kill them. 3 with special weapons. That's with my sniper. That might be rough. Heavy weapon, yeah. So we do have a bounty for a heavy weapon on my first one. Yours may be different depending on what day you start this. So take down the Guardian who last defeated you. That's pretty much guaranteed at some point you'll get it. 5 in a single life might be rough at first. And 3 matches in a day. So that's not terrible. I got booted. Would you look at that? After all that. It's not great, but yeah. So armor is going to be our next big upgrade, because the first couple green pieces, hopefully they'll have the same either intellect, discipline, strength. We're able to stack them otherwise. But it prorates your stats. So if you have 4 armor or 4 intellect on your ghost when you get it, that'll probably be enough for 1 bar of intellect, which will drop your timer by quite a bit. I don't have these opened up yet, but a minute, and this is going to be 5 minutes when you start, and a couple of pieces of gear with some stats on them. That'll bring you to where you want to be. But this is basically going to be see them first, know where people are going to be, beat them to the punch, because they're going to have way better, right? And it's, I don't know why it seems even at the very beginning. Oh, I got a 255. He's a booster, I bet. He probably just boosted. Oh yeah, for sure he boosted. If he's item level 255. The Void Hunter. Oh no, he might have just started. No, he's 920 Grimoire. He would have more Grimoire by now if he leveled up. But looks like we're gonna be up against some pretty good players for our first one. That guy's got 5,000. So this Void Hunter is the only one that's maybe squishy. Okay, so the other thing I did do was not bring them with me.